I think the first thing that you need to address is climate variability. And you have to look at extreme events and how that is affecting the life of people. And if you work with communities, for instance, in the high Andes, where they have constant impact of climate variability, they have a different perspective than people in lowlands where they only get struck when El Niño, they have a strong El Niño events. So in the studies we have conducted, you can see the differences in how people cope and adapt. And for the people that are dealing with climate variability almost every year, extreme events like El Niño mean nothing because they deal with it every day. So to me, that's the most important part of what we have to be doing in the next 10 years, helping people to deal with climate variability and weather extremes. Now, in the lifespan of people, you can start seeing changes. For instance, in the last 100 years in the Andes, the temperatures have been increasing, okay? So the areas for potato that were in the mid valleys, we started to get lower production and also getting pests and diseases that they never had before, like late blight, for instance. That was never there. Now they have that problem. Even the native potato, there are bitter potatoes that are not edible directly. You have to go through a process of freeze drying process that was invented before the Incas, many years ago, and to conserve that. Those potatoes used to grow at 3,700 meters above sea level at the highest. Now you find them at 4,200 meters above sea level. Now, what's the consequence of that? Of course, they are designing their adaptation strategy by climbing up. Now, in a study we did for carbon contents, the contents of carbon in the soil in those grasslands and peatlands are about 300 tons per hectare in the top 30 centimeters. A potato-based system has 50 tons per hectare. As they are climbing up, imagine how much CO2 they are releasing into the atmosphere, okay? So that's the part of climate variability. Now, climate change, we only rely on the predictions, okay? There is a lot of uncertainty there, but the message is that we need to be ready for uncertainty. We need to teach people how to manage uncertainty. And my personal bias is that we need to start preparing the future farmers. That's why we are starting with the school kids in the communities, and bringing these games that I was telling you about, and start teaching them and their teachers about climate variability, about uncertainty. What are the technological options for you to cope with uncertainty? So that's the way in my mind, to prepare people.